morning. Now, Gift Grub boys are here with your jokes, and thanks very much to everybody who sent them in to us, Ben and Ro.
Good morning.
How are you, Ro? How's it going?
Fair playing. I think you've confused the punters with the joke section this week.
Why?
Well, because you've sort of confused it with the asking them who their favourite Irish sports.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Because we're getting loads of ones in going, Clinton Morrison is the greatest. Gary Breen.
Well, that's funny.
And they're putting in these as jokes.
Yeah. Anyway, Ben, you're going to start us off this morning.
We have more jokes than usual today.
Yeah.
So if you bear with me.
Okay.
Are you listening, those wishing to return to religion? Mick showed up at Mass one Sunday and the priest almost fell down when he saw him. After Mass, the priest caught up with Mick. Mick, I'm so glad you decided to come to Mass. It's been so long. What made you come? Mick said, I got to be honest with you, Father. A while back, I misplaced me hat, and I really, really loved that hat, as you know. I know that McGlynn down the road had a hat just like my hat, and I knew that McGlynn came to church every Sunday. I also knew that McGlynn had to take off his hat during Mass, and I figured he would have to leave it in the back of the church. So I was going to leave after communion and steal McGlynn's hat, Father. The priest said, well, Mick, I noticed that you didn't steal McGlynn's hat. What changed your mind? Well, Mick said, well, after I heard your sermon on the 10 Commandments, I decided that I didn't need to steal McGlynn's hat after all, Father. The priest gave Mick a big smile and said, after I talked about thou shalt not steal, you mean, Mick, you decided you'd rather not do without the hat than burn in hell, right? Mick slowly shook his head and said, no, Father, after you talked about thou shalt not commit adultery, I remembered where I left me hat.
Fair play, Ben, well told.
I like it, yeah, excellent. Okay, Ro.
Did you hear about the man who bought his wife a fur coat made out of 3,600 hamster skins, then took her on a holiday to Blackpool?
No.
He couldn't get her off the big wheel for 2 days. Fairness. Classic.
All right, Ben.
Are you listening, advertising agencies wishing to make a new Benecol ad? A defence lawyer meets with his client. The blood tests have come back and we have good news and bad news. So what's the bad news, asked the client. Your DNA matches the blood found on the victim, the murder weapon and the getaway car. Okay, says the defendant, so what's the good news? Lawyer replies, your cholesterol is down to 4.8. No need for more Porrick Harrington efforts.
All right, Ro.
Now this is one sent in from Lee.
How are you, Lee?
This rabbit walks into a bar and says to the barman, give us a pint of lager and a ham and cheese toasty, please. The barman is amazed, but gives the rabbit a pint and a ham and cheese. Next night, rabbit walks in again. Give me a pint of lager and a ham and cheese toasty, barman. Barman sticks it on the top of the bar. Rabbit polishes it off. Next night, rabbit walks in. Place is jammers at this stage, wanting to witness this extraordinary event. Give us a pint of lager and a ham and cheese toasty, says the rabbit. Barman says nervously, I'm sorry, we're all out of ham and cheese toasties. The rabbit is devastated. But we do have a cheese and onion toasty, says the barman. Okay, says the rabbit, polishes it off and leaves, never to return again. A year later, the barman is closing up when he sees a white form hovering above the bar. Who are you, he says, shaking. I'm the ghost of the rabbit. Remember me? Of course I remember you. I didn't have any ham and cheese toasties, so I gave you a cheese and onion toasty instead, and you never came back since. Yeah, I died, said the rabbit. Oh my God, says the barman. From what? Short pause, the rabbit goes, mixing me toasties!
Very good. And Ben, one more time.
This one comes in.
Or not, if you like. I mean, I don't mind.
Well, barrister to witness. Is it true, is it not, that on the 3rd of September, you and the accused visited a brothel dressed as nuns and asked to be whipped senseless by a naked dwarf? Witness, I'm not sure. What was the date again?
What would that be? You didn't give us an opening headline on that. Are you listening?
Are you listening? Lawyers and dwarves. Dwarf lawyers?